toss of lies. It's not that we'll mistake them for the truth. The real danger is that if we hear enough lies, then we no longer recognize the truth at all.
Why would I have anything to say to you? All you do is lie.
What else is left but to abandon even the hope of truth and content ourselves instead with stories?
It's the role of good journalism to take on powerful abuses. And when powerful abuses are taken on, there is always a back reaction.
You take an animal virus and you increase its transmissibility to humans, right. You're saying that's not gain of function?
That is correct. And Senator Paul, you do not know what you are talking about, quite frankly. And I want to say that officially.
When you report fake news, which CNN does a lot, you are the enemy of the people. Go ahead.
About is the reality of goodness, not the perception of it. And what I see all over the place is people who care about looking good while doing evil. Fuck them. Okay?
Welcome back, Habbening Bros! It's another Thursday night. I hope you are all well. I am feeling much better after getting the new space coof. I was out in my backyard interacting with some aliens, as I often do, and it looks like one of them coughed upon me, gave me the goddamn space coof. So I was out of action. I couldn't do a Monday show. I hate to miss a show. But honestly, my brain was just fried. It's cool though. I loaded up on ivermectin as per usual, and I'm doing much better now, which is fortunate. I hope all of you are doing well too. Honestly, there wasn't a lot happening on Monday, so it was no real loss. But there has been some actual news tonight. We have the Slovakian Prime Minister has been shot in an assassination attempt. Many people are wondering exactly why. The theories are abounding. Some people are saying it's because he is opposing Ukraine's accession to NATO. Others are saying it's because he opposed the World Health Organization. Others are saying it's because he's a filthy populist and therefore he deserved it. Because, in current year, supporting the wrong political opinions, even if you are a democratically elected prime minister, is basically opening yourself up for assassination. Yeah, no kidding. A lot of Western media was basically saying, well, he kind of deserved it. I mean, he is a populist after all. Fucking crazy. Secondly, we have, what's the next thing that we have? Yes, Ukraine is in even more trouble. It just keeps getting worse, bros. It looks like the Northern Front or something is basically collapsing. They continue retreating. It turns out that a bunch of the fortifications they were supposed to build weren't actually built. With money was siphoned off into fake corporations and all that kind of other stuff. But don't worry, bros. America, as always, is there. Blinken was over in Kiev, being sort of basically the sort of epitome of cringe. Zelensky's presidency basically runs out, I think, on the 21st. Don't worry, though. There's not going to be elections. One of the principal features of democracy, as we all know, of course, is that you don't need elections if you are backed by a superpower. That is what democracy means, bros. And finally, it looks like the conservatives are flailing desperately, staring down the twin shotgun barrels of 0 seats. They are desperately flailing about for some kind of political formula that will save them from oblivion. And so they are finally getting around to doing all the things that everyone wanted them to do for about 14 years. But now that, they look like they'll be ousted from power, they're actually going to do them. This has culminated in a sort of quite long speech that Rishi Sunak gave to the Policy Exchange, Policy Institute, Center for Policy Studies, some glowy think tanky organization, where he just said a lot of like really weird stuff. You know, everything's going to change in the next 5 years. Like, you know, 2030 is around the corner. Why is it always 2030, bros? Why? Just why? Why can't we just? Oh, mate. Yeah. Anyway, so we'll be covering all of that, and of course the usual, funny videos and cute animals to soothe your brain from the inevitable horrors. Let's see who we've got in the chat. In Rumble, we have Lomax. Good to see you, sir. Timmy Bobinson, Captain Crisps, Livia Drusilla. Lovely to see you as well. Years the Eunuch. I will be on Empire of Lies tonight. We are doing the flaws in democracy. Since I have been ill, Yiz has very, very kindly done the bulk of the presentation, which is pretty awesome. I've got to say, I really enjoyed reading it. I'm sure you guys will love it too. Please come along. Let's see, who else have we got? Anybody else? That's the Rumble chat. On YouTube, we have Simon JJ, Sede Sapiente, of course. Timmy Bonson, he's in both chats. Thanks very much, man. I think that's basically everyone. YouTube, I don't think YouTube likes me, bros. I don't know. And in the Odysee chat, we've got no one. It's a very, very quiet night for Odysee. Odysee bros represent if you are in there. Right. Enough of that. Oh, of course, today's meme. Thank you to the inestimable Stone Toss. Actually, communism is about helping people. I disagree. I'm going to ruin your life. Much communism. Right. Let's get on with the news. Okay, let's see. What have we got? Right. So, first thing up. Slovakian Prime Minister Robert Fico has been shot in somewhere in Slovakia, some town called like Hrvrna or something. No one really cares about where it was. He is alive. There was initial sort of suspicion that he might have died or had been very, very seriously injured, that he was put into an artificial coma. However, it looks like he is not dead and, he will survive. But he's definitely going to be out of action for a while. Even if they didn't get him, they have definitely put him out of action. Whoever they, of course, are. Deputy Prime Minister Robert Kalinak has told reporters in a briefing that there is no doubt the attack was a politically motivated assassination attempt. The inability to accept the will of some part of the public, which some group does not like, is the result that they have worked towards today. A video has widely circulated of the detained suspect's interrogation, wherein the man, identified as Juraj Sintula, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, confesses to saying he disagreed with his government's policy. Oh, steady on, bro. Steady on. I mean, look, we all disagree with the government's policies. That doesn't mean you have to, get up there and fed post in the most extreme way. Have you considered writing a stiff letter? Or voting, and wishing really hard when you vote? Of course, there is the underlying question of whether this assassination attempt was backed by some international glow ops. I guess we're never going to know either way, but we have footage. So this is the moment where it happened. Wait, where does it say? No one says where this happened. Somewhere in Slovakia, basically. Here, check it out. There's not really any volume on this. Yes, shots of a helicopter, shots of a car, shots of the abandoned. Yes. So there you go. You've seen it now. It is the assassination. Well, it wasn't a successful assassination. The assassination attempt. This is some of the aftermath. Why is there no audio on any of these videos? Well, yes, the president's car, they're bundling him in. They're looking all very, very concerned. Men in suits running around. Here is the assassin being sat on by the police. Yes, there's the car speeding away. Sorry. Thank you very much. The question, of course, is why did this happen? The shooter was a pro-Ukrainian activist. He was filmed a number of pro-Ukrainian protests. And there is the question of whether this was because Slovakia was not very favorable on the war in Ukraine. Savages, how dare they not support World War III? I mean, they're only like literally right next to the Russian border and, in a position where they're going to get massively screwed over if this kicks off into a wider war. But, come on. We've got a world to change. We've got a World War III to get going, bros. Think of the advantages. Think of all the dead people. You know what I mean? Think of the advantages for climate change. I hear that in the next war, all of the missiles and tanks they use are going to be very, very green and, climate friendly. Fucking hell. So this was what people were basically saying, that the reason why Fico was shot was that he basically said he was going to veto Ukrainian NATO membership and no more military aid to Kiev, and that he supports Hungary's Orban against EU pressure. Now, this is not just necessarily about Ukraine as well. The EU has brought in a new migration pact where every single country will be forced to accept migrants under pain of, financial terrorism. Essentially, this is how the EU does things, basically, right? They basically come out and they're like, but all of the EU's decisions are unanimous. Well, that's not really the way it works. What happens is that the EU proper, the sort of main bloc, makes the decision, and then any sort of holdouts, any of these small periphery countries that don't agree are just pressured and threatened until they roll over. This is what's been happening to Hungary. It's very, very easy to see that all of these sort of claims of the EU being sort of like a democracy, a unanimous democracy, is ridiculous. Paladin YYZ in the Rumble chat. Good to see you, sir. How's it doing? And Stumbling in the YouTube chat. Good to see you, sir. And I think we have Jeffrey Mill in the Odysee chat. Good to see you, Jeffrey. We got some shipper Ks for you. Thanks to Cedes Sapiente and Dax666 in the Odysee chat. Good to see you, bros. So yes, Robert Fico, he had publicly confirmed that he would vote against Kiev joining NATO. Now, NATO, like the EU, is also one of those very, very, very democratic organizations that requires every single member state to vote for any substantial changes, because it's so inclusive and so democratic, you see. But, of course, just like the EU, what this essentially means is that the large NATO countries, and America, and Israel, make the decisions, right? And then, again, they just lean on any of these small countries and, if necessary, it looks like, possibly, give them a bit of the old blam blam. You know what I'm saying? Total Blackout Painting and Crispy13. Good to see you as well, guys. So let's see, what else have we got here? And just to give you an idea as well, he was extremely, look at this guy. He's also, can you believe it, folks? An anti-vaxxer. I can't believe, how is he already not thrown out of a helicopter? Yes, this is him addressing the Slovenian parliament, basically talking about how the vaccines might have killed people. Of course, a position that I couldn't possibly agree with. What an irresponsible thing to say. Misinformation from a head of state. How could they allow it? I think that the EU should have a misinformation governance board that should vet all politicians before they are even allowed to run for office to make sure they do not have any naughty opinions. Who's with me?
Dámy a páni z progresívneho Slovenska, z opozície, videli ste štatistiky, ako nám stúpli úmrtia na rôzne srdcovo-cievne príhody kvôli očkovaniu? Ale vy to odmietate. Samozrejme, že to odmietate, budete tvrdiť, že očkovanie bolo najlepšie na svete. Čo viete o tom, koľko nám zostalo vakcín, ktoré expirovali, koľko peňazí sa vyhodilo do vzduchu? Čo viete o nákupoch zdravotníckej techniky a testov? Viete o tom, že sme preukázali veľmi jasne prepojenie trnavskej firmy na predsedu jednej z opozičných politických strán. 100-tisícové, miliónové nákupy. Úplne zbytočné. Čo viete o manažmente? Čo viete o tom, čo sa dialo, pokiaľ išlo príjmanie rôznych opatrení, ktoré podľa nášho názoru podstatne viac zvyšovali chorobnosť, ako to bolo možno v iných krajinách. A všetci ste sa smiali na iných štátoch, na iných krajinách. Smiali ste sa na Rusku, kde sa postavili na princíp individuálnej návštevy pacientov lekármi.
Oh my God, did he just say something positive about Russia? Get him out of here, get him out of here. I don't care if it's his third term. I don't care if he was voted in by the Slovakian public. The Slovakians clearly don't know what's good for him. I hope they get a color revolution soon. Honestly, the way shit's going, I would expect that to literally be the next move. Like all of a sudden, there's a popular movement in Slovakia, which isn't populist. Like popular and populist, of course, are two very different things. If it goes against the global regime, then it's populist. But if it is trying to overthrow a government the global regime doesn't like, well, then it's popular legitimacy. And only some kind of crazy far-right bigot would be against a popular uprising. So yes, anyway, enough of that. Now, what is very, very interesting is the Western media's reaction to Fico getting shot. Now, you would normally expect that the attempted assassination of an EU country would be met with horror and shock. And, you know, and the West would be like, this is a terrible and appalling thing. Oh, no. All of Western media was like, yeah, but he kind of deserved it though. I mean, you know, like honestly, he was a populist. I mean, you know, like you go around saying stuff like that as an elected politician. I mean, you know, you're kind of asking for it. Yeah, I mean, this is amazing. Check, this is freaking Sky News.
We don't know his condition yet, but he's being treated. But it's worth thinking about who this individual is. As I said, described in reporting as a populist, as a nationalist.
Yeah, well, that would make sense. I mean, Slovakia is a very conflicted place at the moment. I mean, Fico himself, I mean, he established this smear party, SMER, which is a social democracy party back in 1999. And he's been, I think, as you were just saying, Prime Minister 3 times. So he's a well-known figure. But he's become very pro-Russian over the years, and one wonders why and how, but maybe that's his conviction. And he's, I mean, like Viktor Orban.
I mean, maybe that's his conviction, but we all know what's really going on, right? Putin's gotten to him. Only a maniac would be against the Ukraine war. It's so weird, man. Oh, my God.
But in Hungary, I mean, he's set his teeth against going along with sanctions, with EU sanctions, against common procurement. I mean, Slovakia is very, it's a small country. I mean, in the sense that it's you know, Czechoslovakia as was, the Czech Republic is the bigger bit, Slovakia is the smaller bit, although it was the more industrial in the old days. So it's not to be, it's not negligible, but Slovakia is not a major player within the EU, but a bit like Hungary, which is also a bigger country, but it's not a very big player in the EU economically. They dig their toes in against aid to Ukraine or and against any sort of sympathy with Kiev. And they keep saying, look, we want the war to finish. Yeah. And by that, they mean they want the Russians to succeed, and then the war will be over if Ukraine would just surrender and give up territory.
I mean, that's one way you're framing it. I mean, you know, we want the war to be over so that people will stop dying. But that will mean the Russians will win. I mean, the Russians seem like they've already mostly won. I mean, they've got the land bridge to Crimea. I mean, oh my God, fuck it. Oh, mate, the retardation is seriously real at this point.
And so that's the view he takes. Now, that's very divisive in Slovakia. It's divisive within the EU. So it's not surprising that that this sort of event might take place because it's a very unhappy country at the moment, Slovakia. Not just on this basis, but on the basis of how the country is going in general towards.
Yeah, it's really not surprising. That someone tried to shoot him. I mean, look, he was clearly a Russian plant, and things are going quite badly in Slovakia. I mean, can you imagine, right, if something like that went down in like any major Western country, and Sky comes out and says, well, it's not surprising that this thing happened to like Rishi Sunak. Things were very, very unhappy in the UK. That's I'm going to put that down on things that are never going to bloody happen.
Or a more authoritarian future, or a more conventional West European sort of future.
Yes, it's a very, very authoritarian country. Of course, in this context, authoritarian means resisting the plans of the globalists, right? This is Der Spiegel from Germany. It is still unclear what drove the perpetrator. But one thing is certain. The shooting of Robert Fico comes at a time of political hatred that has long plagued Slovakia. The victim also contributed to the polarization. See, he deserved it. He deserved it, right? If he had just gone along with all the EU's plans, none of this would have happened, right? Bloody hell, man. This is his assailant, Slovak writer Žeráž Cintula. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. In addition to his main job, he was an activist for the country's Liberal Party. This was reported by local media. I don't know. He looks like he was an activist of some kind. I presume we're going to find out more information about this. He was interrogated. Okay, so yeah, this is him apparently at a pro-Ukraine demonstration. I mean, is that literally like a NATO flag he is holding there? Yeah, that's he's literally holding a NATO flag. I mean, I'm just saying, if something like that happened in the West and there was like footage of someone like out there holding a Russian flag, everyone would be like, well, we know who did it. So, you know, I'm just saying, right? Like, you know, obviously these things don't apply in reverse, but, you know, this is him being interviewed, but unfortunately it's in Slovakian, which I can't speak, but, you know.
Nesúhlasím s politikou vlády. A preto ste sa pred mesiacom rozhodol čo? Veď sú likvidované mass media. Prečo RTVS je napadaná? Prečo sú ľudia mazadie? Prečo
So he's looking a bit bummed out, you know, a bit bashed around by the police. Apparently the translation is that he disagrees with the politics of the youth. Yes, Cintula, I disagree with the politics of the youth. His interrogator, why have you decided to take this action? He replies, the mass media has been liquidated. RTVS, the radio and television of Slovakia, has been attacked. Media has been removed from its function. He is hospitalized, the assassin is hospitalized, and Fico underwent surgery and his current condition is unknown. Apparently, he's doing okay. He's basically like stable. He's not going to die. Now, there has also been questions on whether Fico was against the WHO pandemic treaty. He certainly spoke out, as you saw, against the vax, and I just thought I'd just take a little detour just to talk about the pandemic treaty. The World Health Assembly meeting is coming up soon, bros, and that's when they're going to take the vote. But it looks like there is pushback, and the WHO is basically sort of like trying to finagle it to look like they're doing something without doing anything. So the draft of the pandemic accord, as it is, you know, officially known, because they don't want to call it a treaty, even though it is basically a treaty. But if they call it a treaty, then a whole bunch of countries have to like vote on it and put it through their parliaments. And, you know, who can be bothered with that, right? Look, we didn't set up a global, you know, sort of health dictatorship in order to worry about having to debate stuff. I mean, look, you want to debate with the plebs? We're the scientists, right? We are the guardians of the science. We don't have to debate with people who haven't even been to university. Oh, I can't believe it. As the deadline approaches for the 194 member nations of the World Health Organization to sign agreements granting broad new powers to this UN subsidiary, its advocates are turning up the heat on member countries to get on board, despite growing resistance to the deal. On March 20th, WHO Ambassador and former UK Prime Minister Gordon Brown, oh, for fuck's sake. Of course it's Gordon Brown. Of course. He's like, you know, oh no, wait, that's Boris Johnson. He's got a very, very similar voice. But, you know, he used to you know, work for the UK. And now, after working with Tony Blair to completely screw over the entire country, he now has a cushy job with a multilateral institution. Who would have thought? I am shocked, bros. I'm sure they hired him because he's the most qualified person for the job. A high-powered intervention by 23 former national presidents, 22 former prime ministers, a former UN general secretary, and 3 Nobel laureates is being made today to press for an urgent agreement from international negotiators on a pandemic accord under the constitution of the WHO to bolster the world's collective preparedness and response to future pandemics. Oh, I can't wait. Oh, I can't wait. Oh, it's going to be lovely. Oh, just give me all the vaccines. Just stick them right in me. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. I've got far too much function in my limbs. My blood is moving far too freely. My facial muscles are not sagging enough, and I have a distinct lack of cancerous tumors. Stick it in me. Just stick it in me. I can't wait. Oh, mate. Oh, I'm so psyched for this, mate. Oh. God damn it. The WHO ambassador called for worldwide action to expose fake news disinformation campaigns by conspiracy theorists trying to torpedo international agreement for the pandemic accord. Oh, is he talking about people like me? I feel seen. I feel acknowledged, bros. Oh, mate. Oh, it's, that's why I do this, right? It's just for these little, these little sort of brief periods of acknowledgement from our global masters. Ah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. At stake, blah, 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 blah. Now, basically, I won't read all of this, but essentially, they've been sort of trying to modify the language by saying should, using terms like should instead of must, but all the important parts still have the word shall. Now, if you're familiar with some of the arguments over the US Constitution and things like gun permits and the whole shall issue or must issue, there is a lot of room for movement based on this. And the important thing, of course, is to ram it through. Once they've got it in, then they can argue about definitions and they can slowly expand it out. Much like the Federal Reserve, the important thing is to get it through and then, we can jiggle with it afterwards. However, in a rather interesting fly in the ointment, Suella Braverman was in Parliament, when is this? This is dated May 16th, today, supposedly, right? Basically saying that maybe the pandemic treaty isn't a very good idea. I am personally shocked by this. I thought the Conservatives were absolutely banned from saying anything bad about multilateral institutions. Check this out.
I'm profoundly skeptical of the World Health Organization's ability to manage a global pandemic in light of serious errors of judgment, poor leadership, and I'm afraid well-chronicled conflicts of interest, which have subsequently emerged. Of course, we can help poorer countries. Of course, we can collaborate with other nations, but under no circumstances must we surrender our sovereignty or sign up to a lockdown charter. And I hear what the Minister says about the text currently on the table and that it doesn't bind our hand, but he will know, many of us will know, that in the heat of an emergency, in the real time of a pandemic, there will be irresistible pressure that mounts on a government to make decisions which may well, and as we found, will turn out to be wholly harmful and wrong ones for the good of the country. That's why, Madam Deputy Speaker, will the Minister agree that fundamentally, and to coin a phrase, no pandemic treaty is better than a bad pandemic treaty?
Now, bros, have I had a stroke? Have I suffered a severe brain injury? A Conservative Party politician saying something I actually agree with? Is it opposite day? I just don't know. Is this like an actual fake out? Is this them basically saying, look, we know there's resistance to it, why don't we put it off a little bit? Of course, people like Suella Braverman probably don't realise, or maybe they do, that this whole thing is on a timetable. They've got to get it done by 2030, which is one of the reasons they can't delay anything, which in my opinion is a great weakness to the whole plan, which is why you shouldn't let, religious fundamentalists who believe in numerology and prophecy run your your global programming. I'm just saying, in my opinion, the whole 2030 deadline is at this moment their greatest weakness, because they got to push ever harder, and the harder they push, everyone's like, wait, why are you doing this? What's so important about 2030 anyway? Oh, nothing. No, just don't worry about it. But we've totally got to do it by 2030. Yeah, but why? Oh, no reason. It just, it's definitely not our global blood cult. And, we did an astrological thing and determined that it's the most, I mean, I don't know this for certain, but the way they're sticking to this 2030 thing, like it's some kind of weird holy date, makes me suspect that there is some kind of religious thinking going on here. So yes, I'll keep you updated on the World Health Assembly. I'll probably do a special episode when it comes about. Stormshade in the Rumble chat. Good to see you, sir. Do we get anyone else come along? Total Blackout Painting, and Patriots Flow, of course. Good to see you, sir. Good to see you. And Charlie Reedy in the YouTube chat. And Camille the Wicked in Odysee and Speak Your Mind. Good to see you, bros. Oh, and by the way, just before I forget, you, of course, can give me money. Money. Nobody likes to work for free unless you're a bloody communist. And even then, they don't like to work for free. They just say it. If you want to send me a pithy message and some monies, you can do so on Entropy. All the links are pinned in the chats. Check it out. Help out a struggling streamer today. Anyway, right. So, next story. Ukraine, it's going bad, bros. It's not going well. Russia is about to overrun Ukraine's defenses. Why are there no peace negotiations? Well, I mean, like, come on. Peace negotiations? How are they supposed to depopulate Ukraine with peace negotiations? Oh, you can't say that. You can't say that. There's no plan to depopulate Ukraine. They're like struggling to what the fuck are they struggling for? I can't. Oh my God. I honestly, for ages, I have really thought that the goal basically is to just get rid of the entire Ukrainian male population. And it looks like they have been very, very successful. There are two classic propaganda narratives used by governments when it comes to keeping the public invested in any war campaign that does nothing to advance their national interests. First, there is the commitment lie, which says that once you step in to support a war effort, then you must stay exponentially committed, even if that war effort is exposed as pointless. Anytime the public pulls back from that war in a bid to reconsider what purpose it serves, they are ridiculed for potentially risking lives. Where have I heard that before? Oh, you're going to kill grandma. Man, they're fucking short on narratives at the moment. And setting the stage for defeat. You can't let the virus, I mean the Russians, I mean the racists, I mean the, win. You can't let them win, even if they've already won. In other words, you must support the effort blindly. You're not allowed to examine the conflict rationally, because who wants to be blamed for losing a war? Secondly, there is the domino effect lie, which says that if you allow a particular enemy to win one conflict, they will automatically be emboldened to invade other countries until they own the entire planet. Excuse me. This is the same claim that was used to trick the American populace into supporting the war in Vietnam. And it really turns out to be true. In fact, nations that engage in regional wars tend to be so weakened by the fighting that they don't have the means to move on to another country, even if they wanted to. So this is basically what's going on. There has been sort of movement up in the north. Everyone's been talking about this, and the line is moving steadily to the west. You can see basically at the moment they're piling up near Kherson. Now I just want to point this out, okay, right? Strategically, Russia has won. They now have a land bridge to Crimea. They now own everything, including this little, spit pointy thing just south of Kherson. They've already built railroads all the way down there. It's strategically speaking, they've basically won. The question is, what is the resolution going to do? Where's it going to go? Apparently, the Russians have just walked in, because Ukraine border defense funds were diverted to fake companies in a massive betrayal. Imagine my shock, bros. I was told that there was no corruption in Ukraine, that it was a Western-style democracy with, incredible norms and a robust anti-corruption system. Look, right up until the goddamn war, Ukraine was widely recognized as the most corrupt country in Europe. I mean, if you can call Ukraine Europe, it's technically sort of half Europe and half Russia, really. So yeah, a bunch of fortifications were built, and all the money just basically disappeared and went to fake countries. And I presume the people that got the money have fled. According to Ukrainian Pravda, the Russian military has begun to advance in the northern region of Ukraine, where funding that was set for fortification was transferred to fake companies. The offensive from the Russian military launched on Monday with attacks on towns and villages. The Kiev Post reports a total of 7 billion hryvnias was spent there by Ukraine. I don't know what the value of the hryvnia is at the moment, but yeah, it's a sizable chunk of money. It's like, you know, quite a few millions. So yeah, there was supposed to be mines. There was supposed to be dragon's teeth. There was supposed to be like a whole defensive thing. However, don't worry, bros. All that money that's being sent there, your tax dollars, particularly you Amero bros, I know you're very, very keen to spend even more of your tax monies. The Government Accountability Office from the US said that the Department of Defense does not have quality data to track delivery of defense articles to Ukraine. DoD guidance on PDA, is that public displays of affection? Oh, I don't know. That must be very, very deadly, I guess. Does not clearly define at what point in the delivery process defense articles should be recorded as delivered or provide clear instructions on how DoD service branches are to confirm delivery. Look, it's fine. They're Ukrainians, right? Livia Drusilla, Ukraine is going to lose access to the Black Sea. Yes. Now, Livia, on point as always. Wait, where is the map? Right. Now, this is a very, very good point. If Russia continues to push west and basically sort of overtakes Odessa, they may cut off Ukraine entirely from the Black Sea. Now, the question, of course, is whether the West would intervene in a sort of very, very serious manner to prevent that happening. It could happen before. Remember the Crimean War in the 1816 or wherever it is. It could be, it could be quite bad. But don't worry, everything is going awesome. Sede Sapiente, 7 million hryvnia is 1.3. Was it 7 million or 7 billion hryvnia we are talking? Hang on a second. 7 billion hryvnia Sedes. So times that by 1,000. So that's like a billion, 1.3 billion pounds. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'm sure it didn't all go on hookers and cocaine and bruh. But yes, as I was saying, everything's going great. Emergency blackouts across Ukraine. The Russians have been targeting energy infrastructure. The temperature has been plummeting in Ukraine, and they have had rolling emergency blackouts. But everything's going great. Everything is going great. Teabagging Therapist. Good to see you, sir. Right, and we have... Oh, yeah. So Blinken, of course, was in Ukraine, propping it up. Basically saying why a democracy doesn't need elections. I mean, the way these people torture the word democracy, it should literally be a bloody war crime. It's like they took the word democracy and they chucked it in Guantanamo Bay, and it 10 years later it comes out and it's like, the things I have seen, the horror. Ugh.
Working with the government and civil society groups to shore up Ukraine's election infrastructure. That way, as soon as Ukrainians agree the conditions allow, all Ukrainians, including those displaced by Russia's aggression, can exercise their right to vote.
Yes, it's not proper to hold election until all Ukrainians, including the ones in Crimea, are able to participate in the election. In other words, there are not going to be any more elections in Ukraine for the foreseeable future.
People in Ukraine and around the world can have confidence that the voting process is free, fair, secure.
Okay, if you say so. I don't know how the US can help organize free, safe, and secure elections in Ukraine. They can't even do it in their own bloody country. But I mean, look. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll work itself out. So democracy no longer requires elections, bros, right? You heard it here first. This wasn't all that Blinken did, of course. He announced another $2 billion in military aid, which is, unless they can buy more soldiers, right? This is the principal problem. It's not that they are out of money or out of weapons. They don't have enough people, which means that essentially the West is approaching a sort of crucial point, right? They must either abandon the effort or they must throw in actual real troops, real boots on the ground. Have a guess which way things are leaning. Here is someone on the Ron Paul show summing this up very, very well.
We have a short memory, I think, unfortunately, in the U.S., but the entire justification for the U.S. involvement in this proxy war has been, well, we have to fight for Ukraine's democracy. Ukraine is fighting for democracy, and we have to support them in the name of democracy. Well, what we saw, and we talked about it a little bit yesterday, but not necessarily this aspect of it, the U.S. government and U.S. foreign policy toward Ukraine was facing a crisis because on May 21st, which is coming up very soon, this is the 16th, the government of Ukraine will lose its democratic legitimacy. It will no longer be a legitimately elected democratic government. That poses a problem for the U.S. because that means in legal terms, the U.S. doesn't have a legal interlocutor to deal with in Ukraine.
Oh, come on. Look, who needs laws, right? It's 2024, bros, right? What even is the law? What even is the word is? What is the word what? What does what is even mean, bro, right? Like, you know, these words, they're fluid and they mean something different to every person who speaks them. So, I mean, you know, one man's democracy is another man's corrupt totalitarian dictatorship. God, I hate current year.
So stepping into this quandary was Antony Blinken. And we talked a little bit yesterday about he went to a pub, he played some music, he didn't realize that he was singing a song against interventionist foreign policy. He thought he was for it. We didn't talk about it yesterday, but he went to a pizza place that had Nazi memorabilia on the wall. We didn't talk about that. It wasn't very nice. But I think the main reason he went was to talk with the Ukrainian government and try to figure out how are we going to deal with this problem of you guys not being elected, because this whole thing is about democracy. And that's why if you put this first clip up, this is essentially how the Biden administration decided to square the circle. Blinken justifies Zelensky's decision to cancel elections. He made an unannounced visit to Ukraine on Tuesday. He made a speech where he justified Zelensky's decision to postpone the elections. I would say cancel. But presidential elections were due to be held in March, but they weren't. And Zelensky will remain in office after his term ends on May 20th. Ukrainian parliamentary elections were scheduled to be held last year, but they were also canceled. So neither the parliament nor the president will be legitimately elected come next week.
You know, there's a bit of irony here that our government will send people over to Ukraine because they're looking how to learn how to run elections. And when you think of the chaos that we live with, half of the people, or more than half of the people, don't believe our elections are legitimate and that they're always rigged. So what are we going to do when we go over there? Let's say they didn't have to cancel it for the various reasons. But are we the people that could set a good example on how to run an election? Or are we going to go and teach them how to rig an election? And are we going to show them, well, to run a good election, you have to have a Department of Justice on your side, and you have to have a little bit of assistance from your FBI. So yes, when the time comes, when you're ready for elections, we'll be ready for you.
Well, the issue of why cancel the elections, well, the justification that Zelensky had was, well, it's wartime. We can't have an election. It's wartime. But the real reason, I think, is different. And I think this piece from antiwar.com really does kind of let the cat out of the bag if you put this next clip up. Because the reason Zelensky and the U.S. do not want an election is that Zelensky would lose. And this is from the same article. Earlier this year, a poll in Ukraine found Zelensky would lose to Zaluzhny. And as Zaluzhny was running the military up until recently, he got too popular, so they had to get rid of him. That Zelensky would lose to Zaluzhny in a presidential election. The poll found that 41% favored Zaluzhny in a first round, while only 23% would vote for Zelensky. Zelensky is deeply, deeply unpopular in Ukraine.
Oh, I don't know why he'd be unpopular in Ukraine, bros. I mean, come on. Haven't you seen his funny comedy routines, or he like danced up in latex and did like the cha-cha-cha? I just keep thinking of that bit from one of the Star Wars films where the Palpatine is like, I love democracy. We got some really, really good comments here. Patriots Flow, you notice during all these conversations, we don't see anyone talking about the topic of lowering taxes. Yes, well, if they lowered taxes, what would you spend the money on? Patriots Flow, probably frivolous stuff like food and energy, just driving up the prices. Don't you realize that the elites need that food and energy, you selfish bastard? Oh my God. I can't believe how selfish you are, dude. Oh, and Tasia is in the Odysee chat. Good to see you, Tasia. Now, do you want to see Anthony Blinken pretending to be a rock star? Oh, mate, the cringe has come early. Holy shit, this is the most cringe thing. Check it out. Yeah, wow. Anthony Blinken, ladies and gentlemen, setting the house on fire. Who says you can't contribute to a genocide and be a rock and roller at the same time? Am I right? Woof. Yeah, like Max, so much soul and passion. Oh, I know, mate. It moved me to tears, or possibly a bowel movement. One or the other. Right, and finally, our final story. The Conservative Party is now looking down the double barrels of 0 seats, or, probably like 100, which would, cause them to be massively, massively discredited. And Rishi Sunak came out with a quite long and rambling speech. I haven't watched the whole thing. There's only so much Sunak I can take. Honestly, listening to him is like having, something horrible and slimy done to me. Sunak warns that the threat of nuclear war is the closest since the Cuban Missile Crisis. Then bloody stop the war, it's like, there's just this war. There's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can do. Have you tried diplomacy? Well, no, obviously we're not going to try diplomacy. But apart from that, there's just nothing we can do, bros. As he says, Keir Starmer can't be trusted to keep Britain safe and pleads with voters not to hand Labour the keys to number 10. Now, this, of course, is a very, very basic play. Pretty much saying, look, times are very, very turbulent. You can't, don't change horses midstream. You can't trust Labour not to do all the shit that we've basically been doing. They've had a majority for 14 years, and look at the state they have let the country in, right? Everyone's like, how could they be any worse? Well, of course they could be worse because, they're like Blair's puppets. But of course the Conservatives are Blair's puppets as well. So, what's the, oh, God damn it. All the classic tropes were there. The election is a choice between the future and the past. I would quite like to go back to the past. I presume the way he's framing it is, we have to go forward into a future. Look, I've had quite enough progressivism. Thanks. Could we just rein it back? Could we just, go back to like 2010? Just, conceptually. Oh my fucking God. No, we have to keep going backward while going forward. Oh my God. Now, of course, he also basically came out and said that the UK is entering a dangerous era due to the challenges of AI migration and authoritarian states that will see almost every aspect of British lives change over the next 5 years. 5 years? So you mean around 2030? Huh. Well, see, I've never heard that date connected with mass societal change before. That's very unique of you, Rishi. Did fucking like Klaus tell you to like say that? Bloody hell, right? So yeah, he's basically saying, everything's going to change. It's going to be like, when they say authoritarian states, do they mean themselves? Is the question? No, of course they mean like Russia and Iran and North Korea, the axis of evil. You know what I mean? Who's bound to like, hop across the British Channel and, fucking, I don't know. Have you tried diplomacy? I mean, I'm just saying, right? Like, just give it a try, right? Just try diplomacy. The UK used to be renowned for their diplomats. I got some cringe footage. You guys want to hear it? Well, tough. You're going to anyway. Now, this is really, really funny. So in this first clip, right, Sunak basically says that, nothing you do matters, right? These problems are huge. They can't be solved by government, and they can't be solved if you vote for another government. It's funny how when government has something they don't really want solved, they're like, oh, the solutions are complex. Oh, there's nothing we can do about it. When it's something they do want solved, all of a sudden, oh, we have to change the incentive environment. We have to do this. We have to do that. Man. Oh, J. Chiva Loophole in the Rumble chat. Good to see you, sir. Check this shit out. Oh, my God.
But what I cannot accept is Labour's idea that all the worries you have are because of 14 years of Conservative government. That all you need to do is change the people in office and these problems will magically disappear. It's just not true.
Then what use are you? You fucking just, all these problems we've got, there's literally nothing we can do about it. It doesn't matter who you vote for, right? Like, it's fine, right? Like, oh my fucking God. You may as well vote for us. Nothing's going to change anyway, right? And then, basically, he comes out and basically says, oh, everything's going to change. Which is it, Rishi? Either nothing can be changed or everything's going to change. Fucking hell. And this is in the same bloody speech.
Now, at some point in the second half of this year, we will all go to the polls and make a choice. Not just about Conservatives versus Labour, or Sunak versus Starmer. It will be a choice between the future and the past. Now, I remain confident that my party can prevail, not because of our record alone, but because we will be the only party really talking about the future. And not with vague, lofty platitudes, but with bold ideas and a clear plan that can change our society for the better and restore people's confidence and pride in our country.
Bold ideas? Like what? You mean like all the things that you didn't do during the 14 years you were in power? Bold ideas like that? God damn. It's fine, I'm not seething.
Now, I feel a profound sense of urgency because more will change in the next 5 years than in the last 30. I'm convinced that the next few years will be some of the most dangerous, yet the most transformational that our country has ever known. So the question we face today is this.
Why are they most dangerous and most transformational? Is there something, I'm starting to get the feeling that there's something you're not telling us, Rishi, that you have a sort of inside plan that the rest of us are not privy to. Of course, only a conspiracy theorist would think that way. Am I right, bros?
Yes. Who has the clear plan and bold ideas to deliver a secure future for you and your family?
A secure future for you and your family. Yeah, I'm pressing X to doubt, bros. Pressing X to doubt extremely hard. Oh my God. Rishi Sunak, of course, is such a popular prime minister that this Rishi Sunak lookalike was randomly attacked on the streets of London. This poor guy. I mean, look, I'm just saying, if you're a Rishi Sunak lookalike, I wouldn't go out of the house at the moment. Like, seriously.
In opening the gates of the future, where we will be delivering less value. Yes. Okay, right. Okay.
Well, no, mate, that's not.
Right. Okay. In opening the gates of.
Sunak is loved by the people. The little people, they love him. They love him. Now, of course, the current sort of like plan to avoid 0 seats is to absorb the Reform Party. Jacob Rees-Mogg is waffling on about that. I will spare you because we're running a bit thing on times. And I've got this other clip. Channel 4 is now basically like worried that racial hate speech laws are being weaponized against ethnic minorities. Yes, bros, in a stunning turn of events that literally no one could have ever predicted, it looks like the hate speech laws are now being applied to everyone instead of just being applied to white people, which of course is a terrible miscarriage of justice. Everyone was assured that these hate speech laws would not affect you unless you were white.
For half a century, the relationship between ethnic minorities and the police has been a source of concern. This year has seen high-profile cases of ethnic minorities investigated or prosecuted over their language when discussing race or criticising politicians. Last year, teacher Mariha Hussein lost her job after she was pictured holding a placard depicting Rishi Sunak and Suella Braverman at the bottom of a coconut tree. She is now the subject of a police investigation into whether she committed a hate crime. Do you now accept that some people today would find the placard to be offensive?
I think that although some language and statements may be pejorative, it doesn't make it racist. Coconuts. Brown on the outside, white supremacist values on the inside.
Oh, right. Well, you know, look, she was really slagging off white people. So, of course, it's totally fine, bros. Like, how dare she get into trouble? The look of confusion on this girl's face is honestly delightful, right? She's just like, but I'm brown. Those laws are meant to attack white people. I'm not white. I wasn't criticizing Rishi Sunak. I was just slagging off the part of Rishi Sunak that's white. And everybody knows that that's totally acceptable, right? Fucking hell.
But Rishi Sunak and Suella Braverman would be offended by that. They would say that they are not white supremacists and they do not share any values whatsoever with those kinds of people. There are some experts who might say they find the placard to be, you know, racially inappropriate, even racist.
Some of the things that Suella Braverman at the time, the Home Secretary at the time, was saying was so inflammatory, and it was racist. I remember so clearly was when she said that grooming gangs were predominantly Pakistani men.
Yeah, but they totally are. Suella Braverman said something that was true, and that totally offended me.
Being of Pakistani origin and having a Pakistani doctor as a father, this is a government that we're growing up in, my children are growing up in, extremely inflammatory. The reason I was there at that protest in the first place, their complicity in a genocide taking place in Palestine, all of it, the Rwanda policy, these are policies, rhetorics that are racist. Coconuts.
So she was at a Palestine protest and got done for racism and hate speech. Interesting. She should have just stuck to doing BLM protests about how much she hates white people. She would have been fine, bros.
Is a political critique. It's about actions, not about race.
The chair of Britain's National Black Police Association says that policing is being politicised by culture wars, and now the laws introduced to protect minorities are in danger of being disproportionately used to prosecute them for interracial disputes.
I think, again, a lot of it's around context, but I don't think the word coconut in itself is, it should be seen in the same way as the N-word or other highly offensive racial language.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, look, in for a penny, in for a pound, right? Like, if you're going to, like, criminalize the N-word, why not criminalize the C word? Not that C word, the other C word. Not that C word, the other C word. Coconut. God.
Why did there seem to be a rise in prosecutions, charges, investigations of minorities criticising other minorities?
I think the increase is probably due to the external environment and the kind of polarised communities that we see ourselves in at the minute. I think policing needs to make sure that we don't get caught up in anything like a culture war.
Gee, I wonder what caused these polarised communities. I guess it's just a mystery, bros. Maybe something in the air. You know, maybe the movements of the sun, or possibly climate change. Definitely not mass migration. Am I right, bros?
Make sure that we stay impartial.
Few face more racial slurs than racial minorities in politics. This year, comments emerged by the Conservative Party's biggest donor, Frank Hester, about Diane Abbott. He said the MP made him hate all black women and that he felt she should be shot. Yet government ministers said the episode should be forgiven as focus shifts to the abuse of politicians by their own community.
What's interesting being a black politician is that you get it from both ends. You're either not black enough or you're too black. And that leads to comments such as coconut, bounty. On a personal level, if you've been attacked so much, you have to say, look, enough's enough.
In the absence of consensus, there is political tribalism, and with it, a loss of confidence. As those representing the National Black Police Association enforcing the law believe hate speech is becoming too politicised to police.
Oh, so now it's becoming too politicised to police. When it was just about hating the whites, it was not too politicized to police at all. But now it's being extended to people who aren't white. Oh, it's just too complex, bros. It's just we better forget the whole thing altogether. Oh, bloody hell. Right, anyway, now you're all caught up with the news. It is time, bros, for some cringe. Let's see. Here we go. Yes, I am cringe, but I am free, bros. Lomax, Rwandan on the outside, Pakistani on the inside. A crunchy bar. Lomax, I think you just did a heckin' racism, bro. You're gonna get downvoted. You're gonna get downvoted for that. Right. Let's see. Okay. What have we got? So Just Stop Oil. Back, bros. It's summer. It's the traditional time when Just Stop Oil comes out. And tired of enlisting the small-brained youth because they're now afraid of getting arrested, they have started recruiting the old and geriatric. Here is two of them trying to break the glass surrounding the Magna Carta for reasons. Bloody hell, man.
This famous document is about the rule of
Yes,
law
can you come to...
and standing up against an
Yes,
abuse of
receiving over.
power. Our government is
Can you
breaking
come
its
to Magna Carta,
own
please?
laws. As a Christian,
Yes, sir, can you come to...
I mean, the government can't break its own laws by definition, right? They are the sovereigns that decide the exception. Oh my God, why don't you just read some Schmidt?
To do all that I can
Can you stop doing that, please? Stop filming, please, eh?
to
Can you stop doing that?
alleviate
Stop doing
the
that, please.
appalling suffering that's
come to
coming
Magna
down
Carta,
the
over,
line
please.
and is here already.
Can you stop doing
Whatever
that,
it
please?
takes,
Can
whatever
you
the
stop filming,
cost.
please? Can you stop doing that?
So we must
Stop doing that, please. Did you hear me?
just stop
Yes, yes,
oil.
sir. Can you come to Magna Carta over?
We must just stop oil.
Glasses. I'm on my way. Can you stop filming, please?
Bloody hell, man. Just seriously? Oh, this is great. Now, you might think that BLM was a long time ago, but no, it's still in the American education system. This is the NEA, which is the national US. They are still putting out crap like this.
Tapping a pencil on a desk. It's a seemingly small act that can help a student focus or relieve stress, but it can also be disruptive. Initially, the small act warrants a simple response, a conversation, a fidget. If the behavior continues, disciplinary actions can escalate. So, for some students, this small act can lead to big punishments. Studies show that students of color, especially Black students, are often viewed as more blameworthy or defiant.
Yeah, for no reason whatsoever. By the way, notice, right, there is a rainbow of color of students in this thing, but there are no whites, and quite rightly too. Fortunately, I look forward to a day when there will only be purple, brown, and many, many black people in public schools.
Zero tolerance and other strict disciplinary policies can amplify educators' implicit biases. They can lead to severe outcomes both in and outside of school. For example, students of color could be funneled into the school-to-prison pipeline. This is one example of systemic racism, where an institution's policies and practices harm certain people and ripple across other areas of society as well. As educators, we want all of our students to feel welcome and supported in school.
Except for the white ones, of course.
So it's not enough to simply not be racist. We must be anti-racist and take action to make racial equity a reality. That could mean changing harmful policies, implementing more inclusive curriculum, and electing candidates who believe in equity. NEA members are taking action, and you can too. Learn how.
I'm going to say it sounds a lot like race communism to me, bros, but you know, what would I know? I'm probably just a smooth-brained conspiracy theorist. Who was it who had the great comment? Storm Shade. We was just tapping pencils and shit. Oh, and we have a new person in the YouTube chat, D-Man of Gold. Thanks for coming along, man. Always nice to see some new faces in the chat. What else have we got on the cringe train? Oh my God, this is crazy. So, Nancy Pelosi was at the Oxford Union doing a debate on populism. The whole thing was entirely cringe, but the reply was really, really good. I was actually going to cover it last show, but I was ill and shit. Check this out. Yes, I think you'll like this one.
Of these poor souls who are looking for some answers. We've given them to them, but they're blocked by some of their views on guns. They have the 3 Gs, guns, gays, God, that would be a woman's right to choose. And the cultural issues cloud some of their reception of an argument that really is in their interest. Of these poor souls.
These poor souls, they've been brain damaged, basically, by their belief in God. Yes, I will get to messages before we do cute animals, so in a few more videos. Don't worry, I have not forgotten. Right, let's see. Oh, so in case you didn't catch this story, Dublin and New York set up like a video portal for reasons. I've got no idea. And of course, just what you would expect to happen, happened. I mean, at least that's a decent use for the video portal. The thought involved was basically like, oh yeah, it was me, I got it shut down.
So I just got the portal from New York City to Dublin shut down. I thought the people of Dublin deserved to see my 2 New York homegrown potatoes. And then this happened.
Sorry? Is it down for the night?
Most likely to be off for quite some time because we have, you know, some rules and regulations around, because it's very unfortunate that people are acting not in the best way, so yeah.
Now you might be wondering, who is this incredible example of human endeavor? Well, it's this girl who recently got, a while back during the pandemic, got Instagram famous for licking aircraft toilets. Thank you for supporting the human race. Fucking hell. What else have we got here? Oh, yeah. So you know how much I love army recruitment commercials? Well, don't worry, guys. The new US Army, they're hip. They're down with the kids. They're down with the Zoomers. Check it out.
How's it going? What's good, man? What's up, bro? You hit me up on Insta.
That 50K on Insta, is it real or is it cap?
No cap. It's real. I get you at 50K, and then you be all iced out.
For real, I could bag that.
All right, man. You pick any job you want. You vibe for life. No cap. I got your location. I got your place where you want to be. All you gotta do is agree.
I bet that sounds good.
All I need you to do now, man, is lose the cap, put on this one, and join the fam.
All right, bet.
All you got to do is get your limbs blown off and die for Israel, fam. No cap. It be busted. And speaking of Zoomer humor, check this out.
My shit was a gunner. She would raise you if you knew her. Can't know that I fuck with her, cause they'd say that I'm a beta. If she ever does mock me, I'ma tell the world she queefs. So she better not mock me. I've been trying to keep my muse streak. We've got mad risk, you heard them saying. She was the one who taught me to goon. She said, I'll teach you how to wet shoe. We were in Ohio when I first knew. She said, later, I'm proud of you. I'm a full Sigma, and she knows it. You can be Sigma too if you wish. Yeah. Edge max, edge max. Edge till it hurts to keep you until you don't get mugged every night. Drop skibbity rings and ask if she plays Fortnite. Ask if she watches Aiden Ross. If she don't, then you can tell her goodbye.
Oh, mate, I fear for the future. Right, we got some like funny stuff. This is Danny Polachuk, one of my like favorite comedians. He's like very good.
First day of the war, October 7th, that was a very confusing day for me because I was watching the news. Did they say it here? They kept saying in America, they go, this is Israel's 9/11. Did they say that here? They kept saying it. They go, this is Israel's 9/11, which confused me just because that's what I've been calling the first one. You can't have two Israel's 9/11s. Am I watching a rerun or something? What's going on here?
It's okay. He can say that. He's Jewish, so it's fine. What is this? I don't know. Check it out.
Everybody, Cotter from the car. I was just getting nostalgic, taking a little stumble down memory lane, thinking about the COVID epidemic. Remember that? When some jackass ate a bat and we had to shut down the world, remember? When you had to get nostril raped to get on an airplane, the good old days. You had to get the vaccine because there was a mandate. There was a vaccine mandate and a mask mandate. And I'm an idiot. I thought mandates were something gay guys went on. But that's not homophobic. I'm just an idiot. I just got the latest booster, actually. It was heroin, and I loved it. And if they put heroin in all the vaccines, I'd be very well vaccinated. Moving on. You know who didn't get the vaccine? Charlie Sheen. Famously was an anti-vaxxer, which I find hysterical because there is not a drug on this planet that he hasn't injected into his veins. So he trusts Pablo Escobar more than Fauci. Interesting. And if you haven't been vaccinated, fear not. I'm sure the government's going to hire some Aborigine tribesmen with those long blowguns, you know. Ooh, Pfizer. Thank you. What else? Remember? It was a respiratory virus. So I knew that every morning I would wake up and I would do a series of deep breaths through a bong. And then I would forget all about the pandemic and I would have waffles. And that's just how I survived. The wife and I are still social distancing. I think the technical term is restraining order, but we made it through. And I'm wearing a mask right now, but I wear it as a thong. And I'll tell you something, I don't feel safe at all. I don't know how you ladies do it because it is splitting the twins. Stay healthy, everybody.
All right, now this is today's like music. I know we already had some like bad music, but this is from Emily Yukis, who apparently was like a big sort of like Newgrounds 4chan creator that got banned. And this is pretty good, man. I'm gonna play this. It's like about 5 minutes, but it's really banging. Check it out.
Hey, yo. Ooh, Han, cooking in the kitchen. Bioweapons that we serve raw. Yeah, I eat the bats in the soup that be raw. Got the CCP declaring martial law. So, one more time I come. Chinese takeout that'll make you cough up a lung. Cause our disease spreads dormant. Lock you in your crib with a government warrant. I make sure everything we eat raw. 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 Yo, when I cough up in your face, you know I spit direct. Woo-ha! I got you all infected. I got that head cold shit that make you grab your neck. Woo-ha! I got you all infected. And you know we come through releasing biotech. Woo-ha! I got you all infected. Over 50,000 dead, 500,000 suspected. Woo-ha! Cause I got you all infected. Corona Chan up in the place. Yes, indeed. You'll want the flu, cause that's how I breed. I'm guaranteed to give who? What they need, a little bit of SARS mixed in with HIV. Wake up every morning, yeah, my growth exceeds. Global pandemic make the world stampede. Yo, winning, yeah, it's time to feed. Vampire bat making the stock market bleed. About to make you an end times believer. Giving chinkies a fatal dose of yellow fever. No Ebola, I'm the high score achiever. Life support puts you on a permanent breather. Corona Chan mutates and spreads at warp speed. Riding through your city on a pale white steed. Out my mind, yeah, I'm batshit crazy. Biologically bringing on World War III. So when I cough up in your face, you know I spit direct. Woo-ha! I got you all infected. I got that head cold shit that make you grab your neck. Woo-ha! I got you all infected. And you know we come through releasing biotech. Woo-ha! I got you all infected. Over 50,000 dead, 500,000 suspected. Woo-ha! Cause I got you all infected. How dare you ever refuse to try my bat stew? Eat the cat spigot and the roach melt too. Please, let me sniff your used tissues. Got these fools begging to inhale my molecules. Yo, let me hit you with my little kung flu. Corona Chan always headlines the world news. Woo-ha! Let me serve you up some ice cold brews. Win a one-way ticket to a diamond death cruise. What's Jinping gonna do when his economy's screwed? He's shitting his pants, I got him Winnie the Pooh. Sorry homeboy, but koalas ain't food. Gotta pay your dues for having doggy barbecues. Whenever I travel the world, I air cruise. If you choose not to prep, soon you gon' lose. Now I got you gassed like a giant pile of juice. It's the race war, baby, let's do the boogaloo. When I cough up in your face, you know I spit direct. Woo-ha! I got you all infected. I got that head cold shit that make you grab your neck. Woo-ha! I got you all infected. And you know we come through releasing biotech. Woo-ha! I got you all infected. Over 50,000 dead, 500,000 suspected. Woo-ha! Cause I got you all infected. You now infected with the best. Corona Chan coming through with that plague ink shit. 12 monkey shit, straight to your lungs. We going straight to your lungs, killing third world suckers and all first world motherfuckers. India, Nigeria, Tel Aviv, yeah, we wiping you out worldwide. Corona Chan breaking down the grid. Yo, which fuckers trying to stop my flow? CCBWHO. Take you out with takeout when I knock on your door. Flatten chinks with tanks, yeah, I got them egg rolled. Flow, coming through like General So. Hiding out in bunkers and stockpiling ammo. Taking out the third world every day I grow. Nuking Africa, wiping out the Congo. You think that you can hide, you think you can lay low. Step out of your house, it's apocalypto. You can pick Corona up right on the metro. Making bodies hit the flow, crushed down like dominoes. Yo, take a trip down to Tokyo. No doubt about it, I'm the chink killing bro. Niggas still saying it's just a flu, bro. But there's no stopping me now, I'm going viral. Yo, when I cough up in your face, you know I spit direct. Woo-ha! I got you all infected. I got that head cold shit that make you grab your neck. Woo-ha! I got you all infected. And you know we come through releasing biotech. Woo-ha! I got you all infected. Over 50,000 dead, 500,000 suspected. Woo-ha! Cause I got you all infected.
I know that was long, but that just like totally slaps. So yeah, Emily, wait, let me put it in the chat. Emily Yukis. She was like banned, like she was like major banned, but she's back on Twitter. If you search on Twitter, you can like find her. She's reposting a bunch of like old stuff. It's pretty awesome. Right. Okay, so let's check messages on Entropy and just see who it is who contributed to the show. I know there's a message from you waiting there. Oh, and it logged me out. Of course it did, because why not? Excuse me. Right. Right. So, we have from $7 from Jeffrey Mill. Good to see you back, sir. Have a great weekend. Thank you very much, Jeffrey. I really appreciate it. From Yiz, watch this be a prelude to the 2024 presidential elections to be postponed. Wait, to be postponed due to war escalation. I wouldn't put it past them at this point. Yeah, I agree. Thank you very much, Yiz, for $3. And from Stumbling, another $3. Congratulations, comrade. You have received 3 redistribution credits in recognition of your continued service to the party. Thank you very much, Stumbling. I will put those 3 redistribution credits toward some bug gruel for my children. And from Total Blackout Painting, $25. Holy shit. Thank you so much, man. I try to show my love for the dragons, but I need to drop some here too. I love your streams, man. Thank you very much, bro. I really, really appreciate that. Have some more confetti of color. Thank you, everyone who donated. I really, really appreciate that. Oh, it means so much, bros. It really, really does. Right, let's get on to the cute animals, shall we? Let's see. Where is it? We got here. Right. I don't know why it's a particularly musical episode. This one, but check it out. I don't know, man. If there was a cute dog that could drop banging beats like that, you know, I'd probably go. Here's some cats destroying stuff. Stormshade, what's Emily's Twitter account? I don't know. Just search her name on Twitter, man. You should be able to like find it. I stuck it in the Rumble chat. Emily Yucis, Yucis.
Oh my god. Luna! Please, oh my god.
There's nothing there. What's wrong?
Go!
Okay. Let's see what. Oh, this is a goose parade in the Netherlands. In case you've never seen one, you've never seen a Dutch goose parade? Do you even culture, bros? Ah, the Dutch. Those weird Dutch. What else have we got? Oh, and we've got some shipper-Ks for... who are the shipper-Ks for? Saydays? I know it's for one... I think it's for Jeffrey Mill. Is it Jeffrey Mill who has the shipper-Ks? This is for you, shipper-K, bro.
For a dog experiencing a grooming session for the first time, he had a light bulb moment that screamed, "Nope, not my cup of kibble." This is Basil, and he's a 5-year-old Sheepurker. Originating in Belgium, the correct pronunciation of their breed is Sheepurker, but North Americans typically refer to them as the Schipperke. They are a part of the non-sporting group. They are a small dog, weighing between 10 and 16 pounds, and they were originally bred to be ratters and watchdogs.
You're mad. Gonna wear this for me? Thank you. Your mother said she blow dries you at home. So, you know what the dryer is.
I had a hunch he'd go head-to-head with the dryer, but he soon realized I was the real boss, and the blow dryer wasn't his mortal enemy after all. Sheepurker is Flemish for little captain, and these agile little dogs earned their nickname for being shipboard exterminators on the canals that crisscrossed the Low Countries. Basil has a very dense coat, which was not only designed to keep them warm, but also to act as a bulletproof vest against those pesky rodent bites.
Fine, good boy.
He certainly showed me the feistiness of his breed, but overall, Basil was a very good boy.
Come here. Hey, come here. Nope, he wants to go home. Basil, over here. Good boy, good boy. See? You want to play with the ball or no? Just staring at the door. Can I go home? Is it time?
Aww. I think we have another... How do you pronounce it? Shipper K? Yes, we do. Shipper K versus Taco.
Ada yang salah. Masih? 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 Tayo.
motorcycle.
And we have a couple of cute ones to finish off. Ah, German Shepherds and their ears.
German Shepherd puppy ear stages. The double flop. The flying nun. The wannabe up. The one up. The comb over. To the left. To the left. The teepee. The baby Yoda. They're finally up. One day she'll grow into them.
On thank you to Sede Sapiente, our official cute animal correspondent. Bush babies. Aw, so cute. And finally, here's like some fox and her cubs. Is that no sound? Doesn't look like this sound. And that's for you, Fox. Thank you so much for coming. That is the end of the show. Empire of Lies starts in an hour and a half tonight. Dispelling Democracy. What power do people have? Bertrand de Juvenal and NP Van Wicklow. Very, very good subject. Yiz has done most of the legwork for this one. Thank goodness, because I was ill. Hope to see you all there. Quick goodbye to everyone in the chat. Captain Crisps, Stormshade, Lomax, Fox39 Forever, Crisby13, J. Cheever Loophole, Timmy Bobinson, Livia Drusilla. Let's see, anybody else? If there's anyone else. Oh, Total Blackout Painting, of course. How could I forget? I think that's everybody. And Teabagging Therapist. And that's in Rumble chat. In the YouTube chat, we have D-Man of Gold, Simon JJ, Total Blackout Painting again, Timmy Bobinson again, Stumbling. Thanks for coming, man. Glenn Llewellyn, and Charlie Reed. Reedy, I believe that's it. And in the Odysee chat, we have Jeffrey Mill. Good to see you as always, Jeffrey. Camille the Wicked was in here. Highland Fool. I think that's everyone. Dax666. Tasia. And if there's anyone I missed, I apologize profusely. I'll catch you next time. Thanks so much for coming, bros. I will see you either on Monday, or if you come along to Empire of Lies, I'll see you tonight. Goodbye, bros.